Do you need some directions? Do you need some help?
Oh my God, Mary Jane, I was looking for you.
You look a bit lost.
Where am I? I have no idea. What city is this?
This is a mystery one.
Everyone, here's Mary Jane. I have no idea where I am. Mary Jane just told me to walk for a few days from Florence, and I came over here. I'm a little bit tired because it was a very long walk. But where are we right now at this very moment in time?
Welcome to my hometown, Udine.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. So it's not Udine.
It's not Udine, it's not Udine. Udine, no, it's Udine.
And what region are we in right now?
We are in Friuli Venezia Giulia, which is the very northeast region of Italy.
Oh, that's wonderful. So for people who don't know what a Chez Mary Jane is, well, start getting informed because she's one of the best vloggers on YouTube, covering a variety of topics, including travel and also agriculture, which I really like your agricultural videos. So Mary Jane is an Italian, but you've made a lot of videos in New York.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's where we collaborated a few times. And you're going to show me around Udine from a local's perspective of what's your favorite places to see, and also maybe even aperitivo, maybe. Who knows?
You know, if you are in Friuli Venezia Giulia, you have to have aperitivo.
Right.
It's 7 o'clock here, so it's perfect timing. We are going to stroll around a little bit, maybe talk a little bit about the history of this pretty unknown city, and then maybe have a glass of wine. Yeah.
Let's do it. So where are we right now? We're starting right next to this very muscly guy.
Yes.
Luckily, I'm not going to get banned because of indecent exposure, like I did with the David.
Be careful, be careful. We are right now in Piazza Alberta, which is probably, I wouldn't say the main square of this city, but probably one of the most picturesque ones. We have right here, this is the Piazza Alberta with the Logiato De San Giovanni, with that porticato. I'm sorry because English is not perfect, so the technical terms, the technical architectonical terms, you'll have to.
Well, luckily he's also in Italian with portico.
Yes, portico.
Yeah.
Up there we can see a corner of the castle where we are going to go up next, probably. Right. And here we have the beautiful Loggia del Lionello.
And this looks rather Venetian to
Rather me. Venetian, well said, Ariel. Yes, this was built by the Venetians because Udine has been occupied by the Venetians for a couple of centuries.
Wow.
So between the 16th century, no, the 15th century, I believe in 1420 is when the Venetians took the civil power or political power of the region around here.
Yeah.
I say the civil power because before them there was the Patriarch of Aquileia, who was both sort of a bishop, so a religious head, and a political one. You know that back in the days...
so it used to be a religious power.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
But while Venice was not, it was a secular power.
Exactly, exactly. So at a certain point in history, 1420, the Venetian Republic took the secular power here, while the religious power remained to the Patriarch. But basically, you know, the history is that for more than 2 centuries, Venice has decided everything for this area, basically.
Right, right.
And this entire square has been built by Venetians.
It's so beautiful. So let me show you a little bit around. It's nice to see Venetian architecture. And for context, I was joking around. I did not walk over here. I took a train. It's only about an hour and 40 minutes away from Venice by train. And about an hour, 50 minutes by car.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, so in case someone didn't know, the Venetian Republic, Venice nowadays is just a city, but back in the days, it's been a huge political power, commercial power as well. In the golden era of Venice, so 15th, 16th century, they were really big. Their influence was down to the Balkans, to Croatia, and of course they were also here because we are pretty close. Yeah.
And we're close to the sea, right, as well?
Yes, we're just 1 hour by car from the sea.
Too far.
1 hour driving.
So Filipina says you are awesome. A few people saying they're missing you in New York.
Oh, thank you. I'll be back soon. But for the moment, let's enjoy Italy, because when we are gonna both be back in New York, they're gonna ask us, when are you going back to Italy? I'm sure about that. They're gonna miss Italy.
So do you want to show, let's go over here, and then you mentioned,
Yes.
let's first show this building over here, with the beautiful sun right there in the clock. That's so cool.
Yes, this is very Venetian. If any one of you has been to Venice, to Piazza San Marco, you can recognize the same shapes of this tower bell or clock tower, campanile in Italian.
Campanile, right.
Yes, with also this beautiful blue color and the golden sun. And as you can see, of course, right underneath this clock, there is the famous lion of San Marco.
The winged lion, the sigil, the main mascot of Venetian Empire.
Exactly.
And still to this day, right? Venezia still uses
Absolutely, yes.
Hey, Maru, nice to see you here. Maru says, I've lived here for 1 year in Udine.
Oh, wow.
Lisbon, thank you so much for the 200 stars. I appreciate you. Everyone, I've reached my goal of 75K stars. That means 50K stars. That means Facebook is doubling it. And Facebook is now doubling it up 75K stars, 75,000 stars. So thank you so much for the stars and making Facebook fork over more cash. So thank you so much. What is this area called right over here?
This is the Logiato De San Giovanni.
Oh, and Logiato is this type of structure.
Exactly,
We'll see that
exactly.
all around.
You've just been to Florence, so maybe you've seen the famous Logiato by Brunelleschi.
Yes,
maybe?
the one right in front of Palazzo Vecchio, as well.
Oh, okay, yes.
That's the other famous one with all the famous sculptures. Hey, Ruslan, thank you so much for the 19 Russian. Hey, Basti, MJ and Ariel are the best duo collaborating on YouTube.
Yoo-hoo!
Hey, Brian says, hello, mods. Hey, Brian, nice to see you here. Gwen says, how wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, Gwen. All these guys are named Giovanni. Well, this guy's named Antonio.
Antonino. Giovanni Battista Cella.
Do you
This
know
guy,
him?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, there is a pretty big square in Udine that is entitled to Giovanni Battista Cella or Gian Battista Cella.
Oh, I see. And Constantino says hello from Canada.
Hello, Costantino.
Paul, thank you so much for the stars as well. And Toilet Brush Salesman says, oh, hi, Ariel and Mary Jane. I think a few people really wanted this to happen. Basti was another one.
Yes.
I've been waiting for weeks for this to happen.
Yes, it's been requested to me quite a few times.
Right. So let us know who's the mutual viewers. Christine, thank you so much for the stars. Who are these guys? War heroes? What's it?
Yes, these are probably heroes from the independence wars. So from the 19th century.
Yeah.
We are later than the Venetian Republic.
Yeah,
So
much later. They
yeah.
still have long hair, so they're at least from before about 1850.
Yeah, we are post-Napoleon and post-Restoration era here.
Right.
So Italy, I don't know if many people know this, despite our culture being famous for being so old, the country itself is not very old. It's quite new. It's Italy became a country in 1861.
Yeah, so it's younger than the U.S.
Definitely
Yeah.
younger than the
Let's
US.
show this fountain over here. It's a face of Pan, or it looks like
I
Pan.
honestly have no idea what face this is.
He has those elongated goat ears. Yeah. It says no drinking water.
Kein Trinkwasser. You understand that we are very close to Austria, and we have quite a bit of tourists from both Austria and Germany here.
So that language is what? The last
Yeah,
one?
the last one is German.
It's German. Oh.
Yes.
And you yourself are fluent in German.
Yeah, well, I used to be very fluent. Now,
Wait a minute.
I'm a bit rusted.
Off camera, you told me you were very fluent in German.
Yes, I used to be very fluent. After I lived it, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna test you.
You know, now I spend too much time in New York and
Yeah.
did too many YouTube videos in English. That's
Okay.
my problem, I think.
Constantinos, thank you so much for the 5 Canadian. Constantinos has sent over 5 Canadians to help us with the broadcast, so thank you so much.
Go Costantino from Canada!
And Lori, thank you so much for 200 stars. And Ronald says, can you brush your teeth here at the fountains?
It says kein Trinkwasser. It means non-drinkable water.
Right.
But
Don't swallow. That's the key.
it would be interesting to see, because people in Friuli Venezia Giulia tend to be a little bit traditional, conservative, so you wouldn't see many people brushing their teeth in the fountain.
Right.
So it would be interesting to see the reaction of the people walking by, you know?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more of a refined vibe here as opposed to other Italian cities.
Refined.
Refined.
I like how elegant you make it sound.
Yes. Well, it does look elegant too, like the architecture. Just how
Yeah.
the city is not really loud. There's no traffic here.
Oh, yes. How was it in Florence?
Florence was also equally a very quiet, elegant city.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very different than Rome, I suppose, and Naples.
Naples is like New York, similar. Very, very loud, very chaotic.
Exactly. Oh no! Ah, they closed the castle! Oh my God! So this gate,
Yeah.
you can see again the Lion of San Marco on top of the stipite,
Right there.
the symbol of the Venetian Republic. This gate should be the access to the castle hill. And I have no idea why it's closed right now. Usually it's open, you can go, and there is a very nice view on the whole plains around Udine.
Yeah.
And you can see the Alps from there.
You see, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. You have
Alps.
all the Alps here, facing north. And you
Ronald
can see
says, who has the keys? This is not religious,
we
right?
have another Logiato. No, this is nothing religious. There is a nice little ancient church inside here,
Okay. It's beautiful.
but unfortunately, not today,
I think
apparently.
the pandemic has closed a lot of things. A lot of the cathedrals and the churches also close early nowadays.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I was here not yesterday night, but the night before with a friend of mine. It was all open. We went up.
Oh, no.
It was so nice. So I'm surprised to see it closed today.
Oh.
But look at that detail.
With
Can
the
you see
golden
between the bushes that golden statue?
Yeah.
That's the angel of the castle of Udine.
Oh, cool.
It's I don't really know the history behind it, but it's kind of a symbol of the city because you know it's a quite appariscente, like eccentric statue,
Yeah.
and
It looks rather young as well.
yes,
Yeah.
it's the golden angel of Udine.
Paul says we should climb the gate.
Paul, look how it is. This is not some amateur gate.
No, it's not.
And there are cameras here, I see also.
We will get deported, and also the Venetians knew how to protect
Yeah.
themselves.
Oh, that's such a pity that it's closed.
Franco says, Udine, I did not expect that. I assume Franco Borgia is from Italy. Do remind us where you're watching from. April says, you're very close to where my family's from in Istria.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Istria has a very strong Italian culture, despite it being in Croatia right now. You know,
Yeah, there's overlap, right?
Yes.
On the two coasts.
yes. You know, here, this is a border land. Do you say borderland in?
We do, but I think borderland has a more negative connotation in English.
Okay, no, I meant an area where there are borders between countries.
Okay, okay.
That's what I mean. And you know, in Europe, borders between countries are historically not very quiet areas because they've changed a lot of times in the past centuries. So Istria is one of those examples where there is a clash of cultures there.
How long was the train from Florence, John K. Hill? There's only about one daily direct train most of the week, and that is towards late at night. And that'll only take you 3 hours and a half. But I had to take one change, so it was 4 hours and a half. And now we are in the area with a lot of...
So this, actually, I didn't bring you here by chance.
Okay.
This is called Via Mercato Vecchio. And Mercato Vecchio has been the very first historical nucleus of this city. So the first settling in Udine, of the city of Udine, happened around the year 1000. Between 1000 and 1200 is where Udine became a proper city.
Right.
Before that, the Romans have been here, of course. Romans have been everywhere, right? And they had a military settlement where the castle of Udine is nowadays, so on top of that hill.
Oh, fascinating.
But nothing more than that. There wasn't really like a community of people.
Right.
And it's after the year 1000 that the patriarch of Aquileia, who from Aquileia moved first to Cividale del Friuli and then to Udine. He chose Udine because it's kind of a strategic placement at the center of this plain, with very close to the hills and to the mountains, but also very close to the coast. And he chose this place as the new residence, the new main city of the area.
Okay.
And Mercato Vecchio, so this area where we're walking right now, has been the very first center of the commerce.
Oh, I see.
Commerce, trading?
Commerce and trade, yeah.
You correct my English, Ariel. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very proper word, but you're right. It is commerce.
Yes.
Yeah. But they just did more day-to-day trades here as well. So
Yes,
there was
yes.
goods being sold here. And that's why the Venetians were all up on this area.
Of course.
They wanted access to the sea, and also it was protected,
Yes.
I assume, by the mountains.
Yes, exactly. And nowadays, Via Mercato Vecchio is one of the main streets of the city center, of course. You can see that the pandemic has brought many tables right in the middle of the street from the inside of the bars, which makes everyone very happy, I think.
It is very nice. Also, they have these huge umbrellas, so they're prepared for the
Yes.
daytime as well.
Yeah, of course. Also, we have to say something because today it's a particular day in Italy. It's not like a random day. You see many places are closed and there are not as many people as usual here because it's a holiday day. Especially yesterday, 15th of August, it's called Ferragosto in Italy. I don't know how many other countries have this holiday.
Which is a dreaded word for many tourists.
Yes.
Well, France has something similar as well.
Okay.
Where they close most of August.
Because it used to be a Christian, I mean, it's still a Christian holiday, even if
But not in
I'm
America.
Christian, I don't even know what it is about, honestly.
It was the Assumption of Mary was yesterday.
Exactly, l'Assunzione. Yeah, so we're going to see many places closed and
Let's pause over here.
not as much people, but you know why at least.
I love the vibe because to me, they follow a curve also on the street. So it makes me very curious as what it used to be in Roman times. But beyond that, it also feels very cozy because all the buildings are the same height.
Yes, I see. But it's curved because I don't know if it was like this in the Roman times, if there was anything here in the Roman times.
Yeah, it makes me curious.
But then it was built like this because it's just going around the hill of the castle. That's why it's round.
Okay,
it's curved.
It's following the geography.
Exactly.
Almost fortifying the castle even further.
Yeah. So the castle is on our left. On our left, you have the hill of the castle.
B. Griffin says Rome is in like curved streets. Yeah, you're right. But this was built 1000 AD later.
Yeah.
And Joe says no graffiti. No graffiti.
I don't know. There are some.
You gotta look hard, like over here.
I mean, maybe not as many in the city center. There are. Come on, graffitis are
There we
everywhere.
go. Someone left a graffiti.
Here.
Doesn't make any sense.
If you want the spray paint graffiti, look over there.
Oh, there we go. I think people have made that comment because I covered Athens, and Athens was covered to the brim with graffiti. Yeah. And Wendy says she loves curves. Oh yeah, a curvy street. Ooh, curvy streets.
I like this comment.
I'm talking about streets, of course. Okay. That's why the castle is closed. Ooh, not sure. Maybe because of Ferragosto.
It might be. Look, Ferragosto, as Ariel was mentioning, it's feared by many, especially tourists, because everything closes at Ferragosto.
Right.
Everything. And today is just the day after, so many businesses are still closed. That's it. Look, more graffiti. You know, it's
And I love the porticos as well.
So, porticos are everywhere, as people
not in Rome.
are everywhere in this area. So the Venetian have.
That's a Venetian thing.
I don't know if it's a Venetian thing, to be honest, because I think it's more of a medieval thing.
Because Venice, thinking about it, Venice actually doesn't have too many trees, or doesn't have any trees.
Yes.
So they had to protect themselves from the sun.
But actually, now that I think further, I think Venetians might have taken the idea of porticos from the medieval towns and not the opposite. I'm not sure about this, but if you go to even older medieval towns, which we have a lot around this area, you can see they have porticos. So,
they do. Okay,
and I don't think Venetians were there because they are very far away, you know?
Right.
I don't think Venetians were so interested. This is the just city library, which I've been.
Oh, you recognize someone?
Which I've been here several years studying inside this library. It's a nice building. It's of course it's closed now. But also inside it's pretty ancient.
It's beautiful. And Gwen says it's to provide shade, the porticos. Yeah, it is to provide shade. Also, I think Udine gets very rainy during the winter months, right?
Yes. So this region is probably the rainiest region of the entire Italy, Friuli Venezia Giulia.
Wait. So are you having zero rain, sans for 10 minutes in drizzle in Rome? That I might finally see rain?
You might experience something, because tonight, it's been a sunny day all day, but...
Finally rain.
Let's see.
Well, I don't mean to make light. My heart goes out to the places that have been getting too hot. So I do hope it rains also sincerely. So that's nice. Pub crawl here on the cobbles. There's a lot of bars here, definitely, or places to drink. Yeah.
I think also I read somewhere years ago that Udine was the city in Italy with the most density of bars per inhabitant or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
We are really we like our wine.
Yeah.
It's Friuli Venezia Giulia is a wine producing region.
Yes.
And we drink a lot of wine. For us, wine is a way to socialize with people. We come to these places like Osteria Pieri Mortadelle, by the way, I cannot not mention it, since even if it's closed today because vacation, but it's such an institution here in Udine. Very often, if you just want to go grab a glass of wine with friends for aperitivo, you come to Osteria Pieri Mortadelle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. I can't wait to hear about the food. This street?
Yeah, because you mentioned the cobbles. So I would like to, cobbles is the right name in English.
It's right. So a lot of people call this incorrectly cobblestones, but they're not
cobblestones.
No,
this is, we call it San Pietrini because it's like San Pietro in Rome. So the square in front of San Pietro has this, and I think that's why we call it like that.
For context, San Pietro is the rock. But no, I'm not talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm talking about the original rock. It was Jesus Christ called St. Peter the rock of the church. And that's where we get Pietro, where rock, piedra.
Oh, well said. I didn't think about it.
After
Yes, San
the
Pietrini.
saint.
But as you can see here, it's
Shapen.
yes.
And that's proper term for a cobblestone.
Yeah. I find
These must
these
be
ones
old.
very beautiful, to be honest. Quite uncomfortable to walk on with sandals during the
Yes.
summer.
Precisely what you're doing right now.
Exactly. But they are very beautiful. Also, they force you, even if you are by car or by moped, you
Right.
have to slow down, which I like.
Exactly.
It's very Italian, right?
Right, it is.
Chill, slow down and chill.
For my New York City pace, luckily this is not a crowded city, but in Florence or in Rome, I get frustrated because people walk so slow
Really?
in the sidewalks.
You know what? Since we are here, let's go 10 minutes
Okay. let's do
to the biggest square in Udine, which we're gonna go back to the car traffic now, but it's worth going because it's called Italian, but the freelance call it Jardin Grand, which means big garden, and you're gonna see now why.
it. Interesting, okay. And Franca, nice to see you here. Welcome. Ariel knows his stuff. He's not an amateur, says Joe. Indeed, I do. That's the beauty about learning history. If you learn enough of it, you'll start seeing similar things in every city that you visit. Signal's getting a bit laggy. Sorry about that. I can't control the signal. Not until I am a multi-billionaire and able to build my own cell phone network. Not yet. So stay tuned.
When you get there, please, Ariel, do it for all YouTubers, okay?
Okay.
Don't forget about us.
I will keep that in mind. Okay. Good service, even the highest of mountains. First live stream all the way to Mount Everest. It's a ghost town, says Gabriela. So is it usually this quiet?
No, absolutely not.
Because Gabriela is also from Italy.
Yes,
so-
no. It's Ferragosto. No people. Sorry about the car. It's noisy. People, I think this is common in the entire Italy. So in Udine, it's the same thing. People from the cities escape when it's mid-August.
Okay.
They go to the beaches, they go to the mountains, they go to the nature, we could say. Even if I don't like this word that much, but they go out of the cities. They try to escape the heat. That's why you can see no people around today. It's kind of a ghost town.
And Mondays, how about like in a typical Monday or Tuesday, or just in general in Italy?
That's-
is it usually
yeah.
a bit emptier?
Today it's even worse because today is also a Monday, which is already typically
An off day?
yeah, exactly. So many shops, many restaurants close on Monday.
George says even the graffiti looks very fancy.
Nice.
Looks like the narrow streets of Viejo San Juan, Old San Juan in Puerto Rico. Right.
Ooh,
Yeah, it does. Many times in Italy, I always feel transported back to Puerto Rico. Excluding the fact that there's reggaeton playing at most modern day bars here in Italy.
yeah.
Beyond that,
So this square, if you look it from above, let's say, if you are on the castle, for example, which we cannot go,
so yes, that's the view that one
that's
can
the
see.
view of the castle.
Go there during the day if you're
And you
coming
see
nearby.
here, there is also, you can kind of walk from here and go to the castle.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But then we would find another gate on top, so we are not gonna go there. And this square has kind of an oval shape,
Yeah.
oval with a big garden with fountain in the middle. And if you have been to Padua, for example, which is a city very close to Venice as well,
Okay.
it has the same thing. It's called Prato della Valle, which is also, by the way, a curiosity, the biggest square in Europe.
Oh.
I don't know if
Interesting.
in the whole world.
No.
Probably no, just in Europe.
I know that because I went to Plaza de Constitución in Mexico City.
Which is
And
the biggest one?
That one's the second biggest one. The first biggest one is St. Peter's in Russia. It's gigantic. Imagine
But
the Padua one.
St.
probably-
Petersburg, not in Moscow, right?
No, it's St. Petersburg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they
Imagine-
had the Red Square in Moscow,
Yes.
which is very close to Prato della Valle in Padua.
So I might be getting it confused. Do let us know which one's the one in Russia, but it's definitely the one in Russia.
Okay.
And just imagine Padua would probably be like three times bigger.
Okay.
Let's
So-
walk over here. Yeah.
Okay.
Ask about the Piacenza. Piacenza.
Piacenza?
Piacenza. What is
About
that?
Piacenza. It's another city, but it's not very close to here. It's in Emilia-Romagna.
Okay.
I've
Nice.
never been there, by the way.
Just Kate says, nice to see Mary Jane in her local district.
Yes, I'm so happy. You have no idea.
This is
To
your
be
first
here.
YouTube collab in Italy.
Absolutely, yes.
That's awesome. You've collaborated before virtually with an Italian vlogger, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes, during the pandemic.
Oh, cool.
We were all doing virtual things, right?
Yeah.
Look where all the people go. There's this new kiosk.
Oh, right there for some.
I've never been there, but
for
I've
the
heard
people.
that they have good food and drinks.
Oh, that's nice.
That's why it attracts so many people. I'm gonna have some water when the dogs is done with
Yes.
the fountain.
Go for it.
This is the famous fountain of Piazza Primo Maggio. This is where the last day of school in beginning of June, the teenagers dive in. When it's usually hot, you know, they
Okay.
dive in because they want to be rebels and do something that is against the law, but
So it isn't that refined.
it's not that. They also go smoke pot on that hill, but let's not say that publicly.
Right. Ariel finally ran into a New York City vlogger. Indeed, I did. I'm gonna drink some water as well. But there we go. Here's the public fountains. Cynthia says she loves your outfit.
Oh, thank you. You must keep fresh in these days of heat.
Yeah, you can turn it in whatever direction you like.
So now they're seeing me.
No, you have to turn the gimbal
I
around.
have to sort.
There we go. Ah, Udine water.
And there's another kiosk
Wow.
down there. That's
Tastes good.
where all the people go.
It's a good water. I like it.
I don't know if we want to take a walk here or go back to the more beautiful city center.
Let's show that kiosk and then go back to the city center.
Okay.
Mary Jane's video on pizza is awesome, says Joe.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. And then you also did a Venice vlog as well, of food.
Yes, absolutely. I did several ones actually, several videos in Venice. I was trying to show more of a local perspective
Right.
of Venice and try to promote slower tourism to Venice because, you know, that's the problem.
Yeah, right. That is the problem. Yeah, I assume not that many people are talking to the older men at the Venetian bars like you were.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Had some crazy stories.
So around this piazza we have, I'm just mentioning them just
Yes,
because
do it.
that's the conservatory. So you call it conservatory, the school for music, right? No?
You mean here in Udine?
No, in general, conservatories are...
Oh yes.
Okay. So that's the conservatory of Udine, pretty good one. Over here behind those trees, the famous Liceo Stellini. I don't know if there is anyone who is watching that is from Udine or from the region, because many people went to school here. My father went to school here, my brother. And then we have behind there the church of Madonna Delegratzi.
Oh,
But-
that's good. Interesting.
Let's go on. Just to mention a few things, they are around this square.
How big is the city? How much will it take you to walk from side to side?
Half an hour?
Wow. Oh my God, okay. So it's the size of like just the historic center of Florence, basically.
Probably, yes. Probably.
Oh, this is a nice little bar.
Yeah. Did you see the garden they have on the back?
Yeah.
It looks appealing.
Looks like the gigantic watermelon too.
I've never stopped here to drink.
That was so cool. I've noticed a lot of places are getting inspired by America.
That were inspired by America?
Yeah, like a bar like this. Is this Italian? Because there's the draft beer, there's the huge Coca-Cola sign.
That's it. This is definitely a little bit American inspired because you have both Coca-Cola signs.
Yeah.
You know, you have also the vintage one. Also the furniture, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, with it looks like a diner furniture as well.
Yes, it definitely doesn't look typical Italian,
No,
that's for sure.
It's not. More typical Italian, there'll be more people smoking cigarettes.
You know what? This is also the Austrian corner of the city. So we have the biggest event we have, the biggest festival we have in Udine is in mid-September, is called Friuli Dock. It's an enogastronomical event.
Oh, cool.
Is it English comprehensible?
Yeah, gastronomical event, yeah.
Wine and food. Yeah. And basically it's like 3 days of, they come with booths from all over the region, each one with a typical wine and typical plate to taste. And they are all over the city center and they are kind of divided by areas. And this is the area from Austria. So Austria, of course, is not Friuli, but we have, minorities, Austrian minorities in Friuli.
And there's a border, right?
And where?
With Austria, there's a border?
Yeah, absolutely,
okay.
yes. But we consider them also in the Friuli region because of the minorities. And this here, usually, is the place where you can eat Wurst and sauerkraut and all those Wiener Schnitzel and all those Austrian things.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's not a very Italian corner, let's say.
Hey, Peter from the Bronx. I watch both Urbanist and Mary Jane regularly. I have been to Udine as well, and San Daniele for prosciutto. I love Friuli.
Hi, Peter from the Bronx.
And Just Kate says, after Napoleon conquered Venice, a sailor looked up at St. Mark holding the book and said, St. Mark will need to turn over a new leaf. Oh, hence the saying. Ooh, interesting. Thank you so much, Just Kate. Always a great tour. I love Mary Jane. Just subscribed, says Joe.
Hi,
subscribed
Joe.
last year, so he's been following you for a year.
Oh,
and
okay.
Hermes says, I love Mary Jane. She's fabulous.
Thank you.
And Joe, thank you so much for 330 stars. And George says, don't forget about corn dogs. I don't think that is definitely not been from Austria.
No, not from here.
That is very American.
No. Yeah. So this older building that you can see in the middle, unfortunately there is a bit of construction here, but this was one of the doors, not the doors, the gates to the city.
Yeah,
back in the days.
Over here, yeah.
So the medieval walls were going through this place, and this was, we can go maybe a little bit further to take a look at it.
It's interesting, sorry to interrupt, but it's interesting that they reused the walls for housing.
Yeah, of course. So this is called Porta Manin.
Beautiful. That seems like a very fancy apartment as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the bus, because maybe some buses go through here. Let's not get run over.
Just give me a second. All right, everyone, keep the good vibes in the comments. This is a beautiful live stream. We're walking around beautiful Udine, so let us know, what's your favorite part about traveling? Where have you traveled to? What's your favorite part about traveling? I see a gelateria, but gelaterias are not from this area.
It's gelato is typical also from here.
Everywhere in Italy, basically.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
That's curious question though. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to answer where gelato is from exactly.
It's from Florence.
We can go through here because we are in the middle of the road.
Oh, okay. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, Maureen. From walking with her around 9/11 to Udine, this channel has been awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. Look at this
nice
cool pathway.
But you know, this is nothing. I've never walked this one.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about cities that are not so touristy, I think, that you can find some true hidden gems.
You can, yeah.
Like you can just look inside the, I don't know if we want to go and take a look.
Sites that you'll never see anywhere else.
This is a private yard, for example.
Let's stay over here. We'll show over here from this side.
Oof, 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 oof. You have a view of the tower of the castle.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Sorry, I'm always so curious to discover new places. I just go.
Hey, Just Kate says, I just love learning about new places, their history, their famous citizens, and their crafts, and also meeting locals. And Jau says, you don't care. Inspire Life says, looks like a fun city to wander around. Yeah, it is.
Yes. So usually this is Via Manin, and usually this is one of those centers of the life.
Okay.
So people walking around all the time, and you can really tell how this is not normal today. So don't worry, this is not a ghost town. Okay. It's just a particular day.
Yeah, it's almost like coming to New York during Christmas. Oh, during first week of January. It's gonna be dead, or during Thanksgiving time. It's gonna be dead.
Exactly, Thanksgiving. Yeah. Perfect comparison. This Ai Provinciali, for example, this is one of those historical hosterias that are still open nowadays. Not today, but they are open. So if you come to Udine for the first time, you want to go to eat to one of these places.
Oh, wonderful. It looks so beautiful.
And try the local dishes.
Love the narrow streetscape, says Inspire Life. Yes, I immediately coming to Udine, I get very good vibes. It feels like such a beautiful town.
See, imagine sitting down here, having a drink, chatting with friends.
Right.
That's what I love about Italy.
Lots of drinking and chatting.
Lots of drinking and chatting.
I was stunned because meeting local Italians, I like chatting, evidently, because I make 6-hour videos. But I was stunned when hanging out with Italians that after about the 3rd hour or so, they didn't want to stop. They wanted to keep on going and chatting.
Yes. Yeah, you
like usually Americans start getting antsy. They're like, okay,
no,
we talked too much. I gotta go back and watch Netflix.
Exactly. No, because they have to go and be productive and actually work at something.
Right.
So this place is also a kind of an institution in Udine, Taverna dell'Angelo. Oh, if you want good drinks, good cocktails, you come here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Especially in the winter. It's very warm, kind of. In winter here, you can go in, there's such a crowd.
That's so
and
beautiful.
All the people are here on the street, just clogging the street.
Right, I can imagine. Let me just show a peek inside. That's so beautiful. Wow. Dean says, I'm already having my beer.
Very good. Have it for us too.
Ludo, am I wearing high heels? No, I'm wearing Converses. And what you're hearing the clacking is Mary Jane's.
Which is not wearing high heels either.
Wendy says it's a great place to chill. And that's one thing you will not run out of in Italy. Places to chill. Because in New York it could be a little bit hard to just chill. That's why I like coffee shops. But here, you could go to restaurants, tecas. There's sometimes these public plazas.
Yes.
Wow.
So here, this is another one of those main streets of the city. It's called Via Vittorio Veneto.
Oh.
And it's, you have so many libraries, shops, businesses, restaurants. People in normal days run bike up and down the street a lot. So it's usually a very lively kind of place where you can also meet up with your friends. And this is the back of the Duomo of the city, which we are gonna go to the other side to see in the front. But here you can see how old the architecture is.
It reminds me of New York because a lot of the churches are also built with brick.
That's actually true.
That's fascinating. But they don't have huge towers like this one. That's a huge campanile.
Yeah.
Not as many shutters on the buildings. Yeah, so many parts of Rome have huge shutters.
Oh,
for
that's
the buildings.
typical of Rome, yes.
But not here. No, not so much.
We have some here too, probably not as many as there.
Looks like Romanesque architecture, says B. Griffin. Yes, the church is definitely Romanesque. We'll see it from the front, see a little bit better. But I think we're seeing a lot of like neoclassical because all these buildings look like they were built in the early 1800s.
The Duomo is probably going to be closed now, but the inside is kind of Baroque, like Baroque inspired.
Oh, wonderful. And Joe asks, what's the population here?
100,000.
100,000. So, everyone, for perspective, 100,000 is around the population of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Yeah, literally. So yes.
Yeah, probably.
Quite literally, yeah.
That makes sense.
Bensonhurst has 100,000, give or take. So one neighborhood of Brooklyn, and it doesn't seem so apparent. So it's kind of because Italy built so dense that even Udine, which is 100,000 people, feels like a city.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of New York churches.
So you can imagine what I think when I go to New York, what they remind me of.
Yeah,
those churches.
Well, when you went to New York, did this remind you of New York, of Udine?
I mean, not Udine, but churches over there, they're clearly inspired. You should probably come a little bit further because this facade is very, very big and the square is kind of narrow.
Joe, you say 100,000 just in your block in Queens. And Susan, and Panajotis, welcome. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in on Twitch. Jasmine asks, are there suburbs in Italy? Are there suburbs in Udine?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
There are just, proportionally sized to the city. So they are very small suburbs in comparison to,
Are they like New Jersey or Long Island suburbs? Or do they feel more like smaller towns?
Maybe they feel more like smaller towns.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think in Italy, very few countries in Europe have proper suburbs like we do in America, where it's sprawling neighborhoods and people living in single family houses. That is more of an American thing.
That's what you mean by suburbs.
That's suburbs, yeah. Okay. Well, suburbs can also mean town outside the outskirts of a city, but that's more of the kind of old definition of suburb. So yeah, that kind of American type of suburb, you'll find it more in England. It's probably one of the few countries in Europe that has it, I think. Do let us know what other European countries have like a American suburb.
So sorry.
Yeah. No
This Duomo, the construction started, I believe, in the 13th century, so sometime in the 1200s.
Wow, it doesn't look that old.
No, because it was, how to say?
Restored.
Tear down?
Oh.
No, it was destroyed, sorry.
Destroyed, okay.
I was missing the word. By an earthquake in the 14,000, I believe.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure, but at some point there has been a very big earthquake that kind of destroyed the church, and it has been rebuilt later. That's why it looks more modern than the very first one.
Well, even 1400s, it still looks pretty new too.
Yeah. But now we're gonna go take a quick look to a church that, in my opinion,
Yeah. Oh, Urbanist Orange flowers.
Yeah.
You told them that I was coming? You told
yeah,
City
of
Hall?
course.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course,
Yeah.
you're such a big deal here. Look, we have advertisement in orange just for you.
Thank you so much,
Hold
Mary
it up.
Jane. With the hookup. Sorry, what were you saying?
That we're gonna take a look at an even more beautiful church now, which is, I believe, the oldest building in Udine.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's the oldest one. Shutters?
Shutters, yeah, and that the
have some.
interior. Well,
Hey.
the interior of the apartment looks very, very interesting. It looks very,
Tall ceilings,
very old.
high ceilings.
And there's some of these newer buildings. Was there?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. I do like the style of this, even though it is brutalist.
You
but
do?
Yeah. Looks really cool. What do you think, everyone? I kind of dig it. It's really interesting. It's ancient Romanesque brutalist. That's what I'll call it.
Ah,
Because it looks like a Roman temple, but it's with heavy raw concrete. Hey, Mighty Bull, nice to see you here. Cat, it's pretty, yeah. And someone earlier said we're close to Croatia. Indeed, we are. You can
very
take
close, yes.
a boat. But there's no ferries, right? Can you get there via ferry?
I don't think so. I've never heard that. Ooh, that's a beautiful moon already.
That's so cool.
This is my favorite time of the day. Right after sunset and before the night.
Yeah, the blue hour.
Blue hour.
Right.
We call it crepuscolo.
Crepúsculo. Ooh. Sounds like a very bad word in Spanish. Crepúsculo. Yeah, yeah.
Polo.
Polo. Oh, okay. I thought it said
Crepus-
culo.
Polo.
Okay.
Oh no, culo is also
Yeah.
Italian.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, this is a very beautiful church.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was built in 1260.
Oh my God.
So 1260.
That's quite
It's
old.
a St. Francis Church. So
This is the Franciscan Church here. Yeah.
yes, Piazza de San Francesco.
Now that's why it also has a more humble aesthetic.
Yes,
St. Francis,
exactly.
St. Francis really did not like too much ornamentation. But he wasn't as angry as Martin Luther, though.
Oh, definitely not.
I mean, no offense to Lutherans, but the man was a bit angrier. He was a bit angrier than Francis. So let's pause over here. I'm going to show. So here, you can see how they used to have bigger windows, or they rebuilt the church a few times. Usually, you can see how these buildings were reconstructed over the era. Cat says colo in Greek means bottom. Yep, same thing in Spanish / Italian. Crespepolo, how did I say it again? The twilight?
Crepuscolo.
Crepuscolo.
Perfect.
Okay. Soon I'll be fluent in Italian, soon.
Sure. Crepuscolo is the first step.
There we go.
Very fundamental word.
All right. Oh, let's check out the statue. Can we go in? No, unfortunately, closed.
It's closed.
The Franciscans need their sleep.
Everything is closed.
Yeah.
People, you should tell Ariel that he should come back another time to Udine when it's not everything closed.
Right, right. Who's this guy? Emilio
I have no idea.
Girardini. He's a poet.
Emilio Girardini, poeta. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
very ignorant about this.
Do let us know if you know of Girardini.
So quiet.
It is. That's the echo.
We have more graffitis.
Ooh, good echo.
Yeah. You know, I was here just a few weeks ago. There was this one of the best festivals we have in Udine. It's called Vicino Lontano, which means close far, and it's a cultural festival about cultural diversity, you know, political problems related to different cultures simply in the world. And this is the headquarters, this church, because this is, by the way, I didn't mention that it's not consecrated. How do you say in English?
Consecrated.
Consecrated, yeah. So now they do events inside it, and so when I was here last
So
time,
it's not delegated to only be a church.
yeah, it was so crowded here, so many people all over this little square.
Wow. Maureen says this looks very similar to Spain. Ooh,
Here we have some mosaic, which we can mention because Friuli has a very internationally famous school of mosaics in Spilimbergo.
Oh, that's interesting. Beautiful.
It's
mosaic.
in the province of Pordenone.
En la ciudad está vacía como todas las interiores de España. La gente está en las playas. So
Yes.
Audio Slave said the cities are very empty. Everyone's at the beaches.
Exactly.
Sí, ahora mismo es la misma cosa aquí en Italia. Hay una cultura de yendo a las playas durante el verano. Me avisas cómo se llama en español, pero aquí se llama Ferragosto. Y, yes, there is a culture here in terms of going to the beaches during the summer. Constantinos, thank you so much for the other 5 Canadians. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oh, it's beautiful.
I like also because
Oh,
the fact that many people put flowers out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a almost Juliet balcony. Oh, this one's. This is a really Juliet balcony. Okay, so Audio Slave says in Spanish se llama La Virgen de Agosto, fiesta en miles de pueblos de España. So, La Virgen de Agosto is how you say it in Spanish. Christine, thank you so much for the stars as well. Appreciate you.
Now,
S. Fields, sorry to interrupt. S. Fields, I mentioned culture just as a matter of speaking. It's not, I know it's a national holiday, but it's just a matter of speaking. What were you about to say?
no, that this one on the left is Palazzo Keckler.
Yeah.
It's one of those fancy older buildings in the city where they also organize private events. And here they have also, there is the Astoria Hotel, which is where, you know, Udine has a quite famous football team. Udinese is pretty famous for their football team. And when the football teams come here, they always sleep in this hotel. That's why it's famous.
Astoria Hotel, that means the owner probably went to New York a few times.
Why?
Astoria is strictly...
Oh, for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, but Astoria is a very common name for hotels and restaurants here.
I wonder if it's taken from New York because they're...
I wonder.
Yeah, because Astoria, at least in the U.S., originated from a town in Oregon named after Astor, the famous mogul.
Oh.
And then the neighborhood in Queens was named after the same thing.
I never
in
thought
order
about
to
that.
draw his attention.
Astoria, very interesting.
I'm not sure if there's a Astoria
This
name
is
in
a
Italian.
very nice building, typical from probably early 20th century.
Yeah, neoclassical. Lots of
Yeah.
neoclassical here.
I think that right now it's property of the Imps, which is sorry, there's cars coming. This is not completely close to traffic.
It looks like it.
Yeah, no, it's I think limited traffic here.
Cat, is Astoria a word used in Greek? Do let us know. But Astoria, Greeks live in New York City.
This thing is definitely worth a Google research. I think.
Yes, yeah.
The origin of the name Astoria, because literally here everything is called Astoria. Wines are called Astoria, you know.
Because in Greece, in Thessaloniki, there was also a Grand Hotel Astoria as well. Yeah.
I see. I doubt it comes from America because it's so present.
Look at that. If anyone has any questions for Mary Jane, feel free to ask. So what did you mostly like to do in Udine when you were younger?
Younger?
Yeah.
I mean,
how did you and your friends spend time?
Aperitivi.
Oh, really? Interesting.
One word, aperitivo.
How about during high school, before drinking age?
Aperitivo. You start drinking at 14 here.
Right.
Look at just the detail of these decorations of this building. I find them very pretty. And they're also inside the portico.
It's beautiful. Wow. It's
pretty
gorgeous,
nice, huh?
Yeah, gorgeous.
But now while we still have some light, I want to show you probably the most characteristic square of Udine,
Let's do it.
which is Piazza Sanjakomo.
Okay, wonderful.
It's a pretty nice, cozy square. We're gonna arrive there in a few meters.
And this is the shopping area? Lots of stores?
Yes, the clothing stores here. But these are more like the commercial ones, not like the artisanal boutiques.
Is there an area for artisanal boutiques?
Not really, they're scattered all over the place.
Okay.
Here there are also some high...
Wow, this is such a picturesque city. There are as you were saying?
These are more luxurious kind of clothing, like La Lombarda. This is famous for Prada shoes. You come here to buy them.
Nice.
Or I honestly don't know anything else because I never buy those kind of clothes.
Don't lie.
But
You have
I
a
know
Prada.
that it's very famous. You know, it's a status quo kind of shops where people want to show off that they have money, even if sometimes they don't have them. But if they want to show off, they come here to shop. And here
I haven't showed
approach.
it, but Mary Jane is actually wearing head to toe Chanel. So.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You should show later. Please let me show off a little bit.
Ooh, this is nice.
This is Piazza Sanjakomo.
Oh. Do they speak German here, says Christoph?
Only for tourism. So, you know, young people, for example, I studied German in high school.
Yeah.
And it's quite common here because then in your 20s you can go and be a waiter for German tourists or Austrian tourists. Just because of that, but it's not like we speak it as a second language or anything.
Okay.
So this, the official name right now is Piazza Giacomo Matteotti in Italian. Giacomo Matteotti has been an important person in the unification of Italy, but actually the historical Friulan name of this square is Piazza Sanjakomo, so Saint Giacomo Square.
Giacomo, yeah,
I don't know Giacomo in English.
Do let us know the translation because I haven't heard it, but it could be something along the lines of Jack. I haven't heard of a Saint Jack. Do let us know. What's the translation for Giacomo? Oh, Giacomo?
Giacomo, like Giacomo Casanova, for example.
Ah, I know that it has an English name, but I just don't know it. Yeah.
So this is the church that gives the name to the square. So, la Chiesa di San Giacomo.
Sorry, this it looks so cool with the clouds.
Ooh,
Oh, we
the
got thunder. Oh, that's so cool. James in English, thank you. James.
James, that's
Giacomo,
right.
St. James.
Could be.
Yeah.
And nowadays this square is, of course, famous as a meeting point because you see there are quite a few people, although usually it's more people, but there is a little bit more life here. Many bars, but especially there is the fish market here, weekly fish market. So sometimes, especially in that corner there, if you walk in non-market days, you can smell a little bit of fish. That's just a curiosity.
It smells like fish. Oh, that's fascinating. And these buildings also seem to be almost Middle Ages, but probably a little bit later.
Yes.
Yeah.
This square is famous for having quite old buildings still standing, as you can see. And they're pretty narrow. There are some amazing terraces that I would love to have a friend who lives here,
Right.
just to go see the view from up there. I don't know.
Yeah, especially during the nighttime when everyone gathers.
Yes. And imagine, for example, look at those 3 windows up there.
Yeah.
I imagine what room is there in there?
What
What
is
are they
that?
doing? Like a studio of someone?
That's so cool.
That one, the one next to it as well? Or those little windows on the roof? I always wonder. And you can see on some of these buildings, there are still some residues of older decorations.
Yeah. Yeah, we see the old restaurant names or the old
Exactly.
cafe
And
names.
some of these cafes, restaurants, and businesses are very old also, like family owned and passed generation by generation.
Victoria dice que ella quiere un bacalaíto.
Bacalaíto?
She wants bacala.
Ooh.
You mentioned fish market, that's why.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do they sell
exactly.
bacala in this type of fish market?
Yeah, probably.
Because it's
Probably.
common in Rome.
There is
bacala.
bacala. We have bacala with polenta here in Friuli.
So, Victoria, sí hay bacalao aquí. Te puede comer bacalao. Como en Puerto Rico también lo fríen, porque allá en Puerto Rico es bien grasoso. In Puerto Rico, they also do it fried, but over here is a lot less greasy than Puerto Rico.
They do it stewed here.
Oh,
It's like a bacala stew, bacala stew with polenta. That's the combination, classic. We can walk towards that corner if you want.
¿Cuál es la emblema de Udine? What is the emblem of Udine?
You
Have
know,
we
we
seen it?
were in front of the Duomo, the cathedral, and it was right there. I just forgot to say it. It's black and white. Let's see if I find it somewhere.
We might bump
I'm not
into
sure.
it.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Beautiful. The square itself is so gorgeous. It has such a unique look to it. It's very kind of open too. It looks like it's about to rain. Oh yeah, in about 2 hours.
Maybe. But the bars have umbrellas. We can just go have a glass of wine.
Right.
See another fountain.
Or hide out at the portico.
What time is it now? Like 8?
It's
It's dinner time, I think.
It's about 8 p.m. Yeah.
So dinner time is starting right now. Here you have another view of the castle, that building on top.
You're right.
Oh, and there is the emblema, the Udine emblem, symbol.
Oh,
like
there
the
it
one
is.
on the flag.
There it is.
Unfortunately, it's very far.
There it is. Yeah, we can see
the one
it.
in the middle.
Right there.
It has kind of like a lambda, like the Greek letter. Maybe
Right.
there are some Greek people listening.
Oh, it has a lambda. That's fascinating.
Lambda, yeah, it's. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a black lambda inside of a white stem.
Oh, fascinating. And
And here we're passing some restaurants.
when you spend a lot of time here, when was the last time you really lived in this area in Friuli? Just in
Okay.
general?
So, first of all, I have to mention that I've never lived in Udine in the city.
Yeah.
Even if I said it's my hometown because it's very close, but actually I come from the country. So it's a small town of 4,000 inhabitants.
Right.
And I've lived in this area from when I was born till 19 years old. Especially I did the whole high school here in the city in Udine. That's when I got to know it better. And that's it. Then I went to university to Padua, actually.
And you mentioned Padua.
Then I
You
lived in
really
Rome.
loved it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hated it at the beginning, but
Let's pause over here.
just for personal reasons.
Many people have asked me, are there Chinese restaurants in Italy? That's probably one of the few
Oh.
ethnic foods that you'll find in general.
This is probably the only Chinese restaurants in the city center of
Oh,
Udine.
wow. Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
And it's not that great.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Sorry to say, if I have to be honest, we are really,
There's not culture of it here.
people always say Italy have an amazing cuisine. Yes, it's true, but we also don't have foreign cuisines.
No.
And these two things are also connected, I think, because we have so much variety, regional varieties,
Right.
that we don't really, I don't know, Americans often tell me, oh yeah, I've lived in Italy, but it was always Italian food. And the problem with that is that you don't realize that for us it's not Italian food, it's Friulan food, it's Venetian food, it's Roman food. So it's like we have 100 different cuisines within our country.
Right.
We don't consider almost anything Italian per se. So that's kind of the problem, that we have a different perception.
Yeah, I did a video of eating at a Florentine restaurant, and I said that this was a Italian dining experience. And I had a few Italians say, there's no such thing as Italian dining. They were like, it's Tuscan.
Yes, exactly.
I get what they're saying, but
Yes.
yeah, because when people think of stereotypical Italian, they're thinking about the Italians that are based in New York and rest of the U.S., which
were
mostly
from the
Calabrian
south.
and
Exactly.
Sicily. So there's a very different cuisine and culture here, right?
Yes, definitely. Here in the region, for example, we have a cuisine that is probably more similar to the Central European one than to the Southern Italian one. The foods, wintry meats, fermented vegetables and stuff like that.
S. Field says you have such great insights.
Oh, thank you.
And hello,
I'm glad to share them.
hello POV, nice to see you here. Oh yeah, this is the little area. I love it.
Little hidden area.
We'll tell everyone towards the end where we walked.
See, Sartoria, this is a tailor shop. There are still artisanal shops in the city, although they are getting less and less, of course, with globalization. But I like that there are still some that resist.
Yes. And someone just asked, do people see Americans as impeding on the city? But this is not like Tuscany. There's not that many Americans here. Buying out houses and condos here.
No.
And they're not a bunch of Airbnbs like in Florence.
But it's not as touristy. Like,
Right.
we like to keep our things hidden a little bit because the quality of life here is very high because there are not as many tourists.
Yes, and you'll find a little bit more authentic Udinense?
Yes, Udine.
Or how do you Friulian? Friulian experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Florence, you have to dig a little bit deeper.
Exactly.
I imagine Venice, you have to go a little bit out of your comfort zone and go.
Venice is a
outskirts.
problem
Yeah.
because there are no outskirts in Venice.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's such a tiny island. Venice is a unique case, I would say.
Pizza reviews on the go. Another YouTuber says, nice to see you guys back together.
Yeah, I know you. Pizza reviews on the go. Nice to see you on Ariel's channel.
A yogateria. I love that.
This is more food places.
All right, everyone. I'm about to experience my first rain in 1.5 months.
You say so?
It's thundering.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna come.
Expensive to buy property
unsure.
here, says Ludo.
I I don't know. I mean, it's all relative, right?
Let's say this, do
go
you
here.
have friends around our age that live in the city center?
No. No.
Okay, yeah.
I think city center, I mean, I don't know. Young Italians struggle to even keep the crisis, so.
It's so cool. I did not expect to see this in this alleyway. We walked through here.
Hello, welcome. And there is never people here.
Okay.
It's not only today. I don't know why people don't come here. I think it's such an amazing corner. And this is the road. It's artificial, of course.
Okay.
So still back the Patriarch of Aquileia after the year 1000.
Thank you.
When he wanted to build a city here in this area, he brought some water from the river Torre, which is few dozens of kilometers from here. And this is it.
Right.
And little curiosity, my grandmother from 8 kilometers from here, when she was a young woman before getting married, she would bike every morning to here and wash clothes in this water as a job.
Oh, as a job, just washing here the clothes. And this is
exactly in this area.
And George, yes, Mary Jane just showed us an awesome hidden gem. Yeah. And who needs to go to Venice? I already saw the canal. There we go. I assume.
Oh, no.
Exactly. It looks a little bit clean because it's washed with the stones, but
Yes.
don't get too confident. Makes me want to sip and take a nap, says Brian.
Oh my God, no. Sometimes you find garbage here, you know. People litter everywhere in the world.
There's no like restaurants here. This would be an excellent
No,
restaurant.
there's nothing. There are items, like artisanal ones, and then there is the cutest little travel library. It's quite new. It's been here for just a few years.
So everyone, we're gonna do the massage portion of the live video. Going to Angel's home. This is a really cool massage parlor. Oh, and it's open.
One thing that is open.
Yeah.
Yes.
Libreria turistica. So
Yes.
touristy.
If you come to Udine, come here. They are amazing. Independent, very little bookstore.
Also, I can find some good history books about Udine.
Oh,
while I'm
absolutely.
here. Distance. Okay, I think we have to go to aperitivo.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's go drink something. I'm kind of thirsty.
Let's not take the risk.
In need of some wine also.
JL says my feet are killing me. JL, that's the beauty of my line of. You don't have to.
See, this is, you know, this kind of artisanal stuff. That's what I was talking about. This is an Abajo Atelier. So Abajo, do you know? It's French word for this kind of lamps.
Oh. An atelier is a
So
tailor.
here they just do artisanal lamps.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
That's
Nowadays, to find shops like this one.
Look at that lamp.
They're probably very expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine. And custom made as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they probably saw them like they do the embroidery by hand.
Yeah, you can see their workshop right over here. Esfiel says this is definitely not IKEA. Oh no.
No.
Wow, this is amazing.
Just-
Say. This sends a fine sera to Mary Jane.
Thank you, grazie, grazie.
And Inspire Life says that shop that you just showed us was a truly illuminating experience.
Yeah.
Lighten after seeing that.
So let's just try to go in here. For example, this is not part of the public streets. I think it's probably a private one. But you see, it's so nice to look at.
Yeah, it's nice to look at.
Oh, look. Here you can see better the stamp
Wow.
of Udine. This is the one. This is the,
Yeah.
again, the city library, the public library.
Oh, right
This
here.
one
Okay.
on top. This is the official one with all the things around.
With the horse as well.
Yeah.
Manny asked a great question in Spanish. I'll translate. Dice, hay algo aquí en Udine que no se puede conseguir en ningún otro sitio. Is there something here in Udine that you can't find anywhere else in Italy?
Oh, absolutely. So many things.
So give us two.
Give us two.
Yeah. Food
Well, an abajur shop,
Okay.
artisanal shop. No, I was kidding.
Millie, thank you so much for a $5 super chat. Hey, Ariel and Mary Jane, thank you for your wonderful tour. Udine is worth visiting. Oh, yes, it is. I think so. I'm already convinced.
So, food-wise, you wanted something?
Yes.
I would say fricco.
Ooh.
Fricco it's one of the symbols of Friuli.
Okay.
And in Udine too, it's a dish made with cheese and potatoes.
Okay.
It's a very simple dish, but super tasty. And another thing that you would like to know?
Yes. I'll translate soon.
Something unique.
As you're thinking about it, único que no se puede conseguir en ningún otro sitio en Italia es una comida que se hace con polenta, que es como unas papas majadas con, which was it? What was it with?
Cheese and potatoes.
Okay, so
And sometimes onion.
papas majadas, cebolla y queso combinado y caliente.
Maybe go this one or the next one.
This tree is pretty, oh yes.
We can actually walk
This one?
down the portico here.
Okay. And, okay, so a second one.
Second one, so many osterias.
Oh, osterias, yeah.
Historical osterias, because that's something that I don't find quite as much in other Italian cities. They have historical osterias, but they are kind of, one or two per city.
Right.
Here there are so many, and you can still feel that they are active nowadays. They are not just like a sort of a museum where you go only if you have relatives visiting from outside, you know?
Yes, yes.
They are actually places where people still go to meet up every day. The oste, which is the guy, the oste is like the host.
And that's where the word osteria comes from.
Exactly.
Someone
The
who
oste
hosts you.
is the guy who pours the wine, let's say.
Okay.
The oste knows the customers and, kind of that kind of.
Let's join team like people. Yes, the YouTube algorithm hasn't shown this video to some urbanists because it thinks that they want only New York content. So slam that like button right now so we can show you more of Udine. We can show more people of a beautiful place like Udine, which YouTube is like, what is Udine?
Yes.
Who's going to watch this?
I know.
So let's convince them. Let's teach the YouTube algorithm by slamming that like button.
Come on, YouTube algorithm. Let's help the algorithm, guys.
Let's give it a little helping hand. Let's assume that the
Yes.
algorithm is like a naive 9-year-old kid.
Here we are back to where we started,
Oh,
by the
yes.
way. This is from the other side, Loggia del Lionello.
Okay, wonderful.
And now we are going back
Oh, wow.
to Piazza Sanjakomo because I want to go there for our aperitivo.
Okay, sounds good. Underneath our umbrella, just in case it starts raining.
Exactly, because I've seen some umbrellas.
Let's answer a few more questions. How many weeks is it necessary to travel Italy? I mean, you can take as long as you want to, ideally. But if you want an experience where you can experience all the 3 to 4 different cultures of Italy, I would say there's the southern culture, there's the central culture in Rome, and then you can experience northern culture. And even north has a lot of differences. But you could do 3 to 4 legs of your trip here to experience more full Italy.
Yes.
Yeah. At least 3 legs of the trip.
I would say, usually if you have to divide Italy in areas, I would say 4. So it's northeast, northwest, center, and south.
Right.
But then you have the islands, so Sicily and Sardinia.
Which are almost their own destinations.
Yes, they are technically in the south, but they are their own destination. They are islands, you know?
Right. Sardinia is very, I've heard,
Especially
very
Sardinia.
different from
Yes.
the rest of Italy.
And amazing. Here we passed, I don't know if they were able to see them on camera, but we passed a few clothing shops that are quite high quality, pricey of course, but very good quality. Those things that we have many foreigners from Slovenia, from the Balkans, or from Austria that come to Italy, even just for a weekend daily trip, to come and shop for clothes here.
Right.
For this kind of clothes. So good quality that you used to find everywhere, maybe up to 50 or 70 years ago, but now it's more difficult to find. Here in Udine, you can still find these kind of shops.
Oh, that's nice. So pro tip, come right here by Piazza Giacomo.
Yeah, this is, on the left, is one of the typical fancy cafes.
This is the coffee brand that's I've seen in New York from time to time. It's a bit more rare to find it, but it's really good. This,
I don't drink coffee, so I
yeah.
look at this guy, oh my god.
Oh. The end is coming. Hey Teresa, we're in the city of Udine. Carol just sent a PayPal. Oh, thank you so much, Carol, for the PayPal. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so
I think Ariel now maybe is gonna choose a spot.
Let's go to a spot that has some food also.
Okay, let's take a look. I don't really, I haven't
no
been
music.
to, thunders.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's see if this one has food. Oh, we have gelato here, not for aperitivo.
È ancora poco sviluppato.
Wow, this is oh my god. Yeah. A storm is coming. So
I
that's
think maybe this one, which is also these tables.
okay, that's perfect.
Do you think here?
Let's go on the other side.
Okay.
Italian secret. I like it.
That's a pretty nice sky, if I may say. Although it's a big black cloud, but it's not on top of us. So that's a good sign, Ariel.
Good sign, yeah.
A good sign. We might have skipped it.
I doubt it was rain, says Franca, yeah. Just give me a second. All these places are coffee bars. No food. Okay, we'll have some aperitivo then.
Oh, you mean food like restaurant food?
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
aperitivo is different than dinner.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So if you want dinner, we can go somewhere else.
Let's go.
Although many restaurants are closed today.
Yeah, they are closed, yeah. Oh, lots of music comes to these places. All right, let's go over here.
Maybe we can go here.
No, I prefer it over here. It's
Just okay.
all right.
So what are we gonna have for aperitivo now?
Well, I'm gonna go for Campari because I'm actually very thirsty.
I knew it. Well, that's...
If you can stay over here, we're gonna be pretty close. but,
Ariel,
yeah.
be careful. That's not good. If you're thirsty, you shouldn't have that. Because that's very alcoholic, so you're gonna get drunk immediately.
Well, Negroni is where you'll get drunk
No,
even
but
faster.
we can ask for a glass of water on the side.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's very... You can see how sweaty we are, or I am.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot here.
It's humid as well. Hence the curly hair. Are you going to the mountains? Who knows? I like how Udine looks at night. Oh yes, it does. Wow, that sky looks epic. It does indeed. Yes, it looks very epic.
Can I say something though?
Wow. That kind of does look epic. What?
No, I must say something just because some people said that I liked how Udine looks like in the evening, and I said yes, absolutely, I like it too. But then I thought, when I was a teenager, I used to come here to spend the nights, to drink with friends, and I really didn't like it. I thought it was such a boring place, ugly,
Where do you dream of going when you were younger?
Just to bigger cities.
Okay.
Like New York City, London, or Milan, stuff like that. These sounded so fancy and so exciting. And maybe if you are, in your late teens or early 20s, that's a good stimuli that you can have. Mm-hmm. But I just would like people to reflect on the fact that often we are not able to appreciate the places where we grew up in and we always lived in, just because we haven't seen what's beyond them. Mm-hmm. So then in my 20s I started traveling and I started living in other places, and I realized how lucky I was to be born in a place like this, where the quality of life is so high. And even Udine, I think now it's also aesthetically a very nice town.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. People yearn for that heavy energy and diversity and lots of different things happening. And this town is not going to offer that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the beauty about traveling, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. It's nice to go to a different area. As an American, many Americans, including myself, yearn for that European lifestyle, to drink a cafe in a public square, and to have an aperitivo that's a few hours long, things like that. All right, let's order before we continue chatting. Avocado toast from Dunkin', yes.
Avocado toast? Someone wants you to order avocado toast? You're talking about some alien kind of thing.
No, in Florence. In Florence, there was actually a lot of avocado toast.
You ate avocado toast?
I did.
But that's how you understand that it's a touristy place.
Yes.
Because
precisely.
Here, I think most of people in this region don't know how an avocado looks like.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Avocado, and you barely find it in the markets. And if you do, it's great. Buonasera.
Ciao.
Campari Spritz, per favore. Uno.
Per me uno spritz bianco con un po' di limone, e se ci porti 2 bicchieroni di acqua di rubinetto, per favore. Grazie.
What do you order?
Campari Spritz. Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Like a white spritz.
Oh, white spritz. What's a white spritz?
That's the number one aperitivo in Udine. It's just...
Okay, do tell us. Enlighten us.
Oh, it's very, very simple. It's just white wine, which this region is famous for very good white wines, and some sparkling water.
Isn't that blasphemous in other regions of Italy? To mix wine that is not prosecco.
I don't know.
To mix wine with sparkling water.
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Honestly,
because in the U.S. people would be like, "What, wine with sparkling water?" But it's normal in countries like Hungary. Hungary, they just are hungry for spritz and wine.
Yeah, you know, every culture has their own weird things. For example, in Germany, if you think about it, they are so obsessed with beer and they have the greatest beers ever. You know, they have some of the best beers in the world, and they are very particular about how they produce them and the quality. But then they have the Radler. Do you know what the Radler is?
No, what is a Radler?
They mix beer with lemonade in the summer to make it, when you are very thirsty, you put a little bit of lemonade.
I also tried the one with grapefruit juice.
See?
It's really good.
So weird.
But is there anything blasphemous here in terms of food that other Italians enjoy, or vice versa? That is normal here, but other Italians are like, whoa, what are you doing?
That's such a good question. I have to think about it.
Because Italy has a lot of gastronomical faux pas, I like to call them. There's a lot of taboos when it comes to gastronomy. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Yes.
So now I'm very curious, is there anything at Udine that other places don't do?
I would say, first thing that comes to my mind is when my grandma used to make pasta. So the dry semolina pasta that you are used to consider as typical Italian is actually from the south. Here in the north, we have pasta like traditionally, but it's egg pasta, and it's not made with the same flour, semolina. It's made with another, for example.
Oh, fascinating.
And so that whole thing of al dente is not the same for that type of pasta.
It is, yeah. Grazie.
Prego. Qua.
Grazie.
Prego.
Avete anche degli stuzzichini?
Sì. Cioè, patatine questi?
No, qualcosa
tipo
di
toast?
più consistente.
Toast? No, cioè, o roba piccola così o solo così? Se no un toast o un tramezzino vi posso fare.
Would you like some kind of little sandwiches? Something like that?
Yeah, let's order one.
Che tramezzini avete?
Adesso ti dico.
Grazie.
Grazie. Oh, wow.
That's all.
Olive, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's very common.
That's so
here.
interesting.
That's
Okay.
the best thing about Spritz Aperol.
So this is a Campari Spritz. This is a Campari Spritz.
We say Spritz Campari.
Oh, Spritz Campari. Okay.
It's
Spritz
the
Campari.
same. I was just showing you the Italian way.
But I've heard many Italians say Campari Spritz.
Never heard that.
Interesting. Okay. But this is the first time I encounter an olive in my Campari Spritz.
You're kidding me?
Yep. And
There's no Spritz without the olive.
that's so interesting. Because in Sorrento it was a cherry, and of course in Rome they don't even bother with anything. They just put you the orange. That's it. But this is the first time I've seen the olive in my Spritz.
Here in the northeast, in the whole northeast, you can go to Veneto region, to Padova, to Venice. They always put the olive.
Salute.
Sometimes 3 in a skewer.
Right. 3
Viva!
Salute.
Salute!
Panagiotta says your face when I mentioned the olive.
Yes, because I love the olive in the Spritz. I actually bite on it. I don't eat it in one bite because I love the combination of the flavor with the drink.
That's so interesting. To me, just like Campari and olive does not mix together.
Oh, you have to try it. You have to try it. You might have liked it. I have friends who don't like the flavor.
I like the olive. Let's try it with the Spritz. It's like sweet and salty together.
And kind of bitter of the olive.
Right. It's a nice combination. Reminds me of a martini. And never expect an olive in the Campari Spritz, says Nina. Yeah. Now I'm very curious. If this, have you been to south of Italy?
Yeah, but you don't order a Spritz Aperol or Spritz Campari in the south.
What do you usually order?
They drink a lot of beer, like simple beer, I think, and they are not very big on alcohol in the south.
Okay.
Allora,
They're-
ho 2 tramezzini, uno con le olive e l'altro crudo e pomodoro.
Okay. Would you like a tramezzino tuna and olives?
Yeah,
I think that would be nice.
Dividere in 2?
Sì, grazie, perfetto.
Perfetto, grazie.
In the south, yeah, they're not as very big with alcohol. They also have fabulous wines. They are
Right.
usually heavier and more flavorful than our wines because, of course, they have the sun is stronger there,
Yes.
so the grapes become sweeter, more sugary.
Right.
And
right.
sometimes when they pick them at the end of the season, they are not as full of water because it's so dry, the weather. But yeah, we drink a lot of alcoholic beverages.
Right, right. That's fascinating. So let me show everyone what aperitivo is. So aperitivo usually consists of some type of snack that you eat that comes included with your drink. You're not paying extra for this.
No.
The drink might be maybe $1 more because it's aperitivo, but it won't be that much more expensive.
No, it's actually not more expensive unless you're in Milan or in Turin or in these big cities.
Where it's more elaborate, the aperitivo.
Yeah, but also the food is more elaborate.
Right.
There you can pay even $15 for a cocktail, but then you have
Right.
like full buffet.
So here we have just potato chips and some little,
Salatini, we call them.
Salatini.
It's like crackers.
and then here you have your wine spritz and Campari spritz or spritz Campari and spritz vino. How do you pronounce it?
Spritz bianco.
Bianco.
Which means white, just
Okay.
because it can be either black or white, depending on which wine.
You have a black spritz,
Yes, with black wine.
black wine.
Oh, sorry. See, this is interesting.
Do they call it
In Friulan,
yeah.
in Italian, we also say vino rosso,
Okay.
so red.
red? Yes.
But in Friulan, we say black wine, il neri.
Grazie.
Ecco, prego. Allora, in
Grazie.
totale sono 9.
Arrivo. No, you are.
No.
No.
You
You are
are
my
my
guest.
guest. You
no,
are my guest.
no, you are my guest.
All right, I'm getting tomorrow.
Non ho il posto, ecco, devo andare dentro. O se no
Va
no,
bene,
vado
sì,
io
sì,
dentro.
va bene, sì.
Vedi?
Beh, mi porti la ricevuta.
You sure you don't want to go?
No,
pay?
it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
If you ever leave, don't leave Italy without trying the dried meats. Says Cake Fate. So I've tried it already on my own without all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I do not.
How dare you? How dare you not share some parts of your life?
I have been seeing other people. But Cake Fate, yeah, I have tried it. I really enjoy it. I've been wanting to try deer and wild boar salami, which I haven't had the chance to try yet. I've tried more of the classic prosciutto and salami and those ones. Yeah.
So by
right.
Grazie.
Grazie.
So by dried meat,
Yeah.
you mean like salami
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Right.
I see. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Because then you have dry meats that are, we call carne secca, dry meat, something
Right.
else.
Right.
And it's not very common in Italy, but for example, in the area around Rome,
Right.
there is some horse dry meat or also pork dry meat that is delicious.
Bresaola.
Breza, I wouldn't call that dry meat though,
Oh, interesting.
but
Okay.
but maybe
It's a cold.
it makes sense.
It's a cold
actually.
cut.
Yes, yes.
It's a cold cut.
But for example, if you go around Rome in the area of the Castelli Romani,
Yeah.
which is a bit to the southeast of Rome,
Yeah.
you have to try the doppiette. They're called doppiette.
Doppiette?
They're kind of
that.
long sticks of dry meat.
Okay.
They're so delicious. And they're made artisanally. Together with porchetta. But now we are in Friuli. Let's not talk about Rome. You covered that already.
Right. No carbonara will be eaten here.
Oh no.
Not allowed.
It's not the place for carbonara.
Nor pizza. Nor Arancini, no, we're not having any of that. No cannolo here, everyone. We're gonna have polenta every day, all day. Okay. What besides polenta? Because polenta is a hard sell for many people. What's a tasty Friulian dish that people should eat?
So, well, it depends on the season. So, the entire cuisine of Friuli, as many others, is based on farmers invented it. Back in the days, they were all farmers. So it depends on the season. So, from the spring on, you have a lot of risotto with herbs, like wild herbs, and frittata as well.
Ooh. I tried a frittata earlier, and it was really, really good. So frittata is almost like a Spanish tortilla, omelette. It's cooked baked egg. It's really good. But I can't wait to try the risotto with risotto with the wild herbs.
Yes.
That sounds really good. And Susan, thank you so much for the 200 stars. So feel free to ask Mary Jane Q&A anything about Friuli and Udine. This is your chance to ask any questions about this region of Italy from Mary Jane's perspective. Dawn says, it's so good to see you and Mary Jane together again. Always so informative and lots of smiles and laughs. This is a great evening. Oh, yes, indeed.
Hi, Dawn.
Salute a tutti? How do you say?
A tutti, yes, very good.
Salute a tutti.
Viva.
Why you say why viva? What does that mean?
It's not very common. What does it mean? Not much, to be honest. I always say viva. It's kind of Friulan, I think.
Right.
It's more personal of mine. You can say chin chin.
Chin chin.
Chin chin is a little bit fancier.
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Cheerio. No, wait, that's English.
Yeah. Yep. So we have risotti frittate. Then in the winter we have boiled meats.
Yeah.
We have musetto con la brovada, typical delicious dish. Musetto is kind of you have to imagine it kind of a sausage or a salami or a big sausage, like it's this thick, I would say.
Okay.
And you cut it, you boil it, and then you cut it in slices, and it's very, very fatty, so that when you eat it, it's kind of sticky in the mouth.
Oh, fascinating.
Very flavorful. There are spices inside. And you eat, because it's so fatty and sticky, you eat it together with brovada. Broade in Friulan. Broade is very typical Friulan. That is one of those things that you cannot find anywhere else. Okay. Not even if you go to Veneto region, which is right here. It's only in Friuli, and it's turnip. What are the round white ones? Turnip?
Yeah, I think they would be turnips. Yeah,
turnips. Okay, yeah, turnips. So it's grated turnip. No, sorry. It's fermented turnip in wine, and it's not precisely wine, but it's the residue of the grapes after you squeeze it for the wine.
Okay.
So instead of throwing it away, the farmers used to put the turnips inside these residues of grapes and let it ferment for a few weeks there.
Okay.
When it's fermented, you grate it, and then you cook it with spices and onions.
Oh, I see.
You kind of stew it. So you eat the stew of fermented turnip with the musetto, which is that kind of sausage, boiled sausage.
Oh, that sounds fascinating.
It's a very typical dish for Christmas, for example. Oh. Very rich, tasty.
Oh, that sounds good. Blue sausage. I have not seen that yet in Italian cuisine, so I would love to try that. The hangover must be something else. Italians, I don't think, really get hungover, right?
Not that much.
No. It's not a heavy drinking culture.
You see, I must admit that this aperitivo is not the best one that you can have here. It's kind of poor, but you always have something to eat when you drink.
Can we have a better aperitivo just in general in Udine? What would be a better aperitivo?
Piedi mortadelle, for example, which is close.
Well, what would they give you?
So they would give you either some pizza. We call it pizza, but it's actually more like focaccia because it's thicker bread.
Okay.
you know, maybe they have it already made and they put it in the oven a little bit before serving it to you, and they cut it in little squares, so it's like bite-sized little squares of pizza. Or they take some crunchy bread, for example, or even normal bread, very little like this, and they put on top some little things. Could be some veggies with a little bit of salami, or some spread like cheese spread with pepperoni on top, something like that.
Fascinating. Okay, that's good. That's good that they give you that variety of.
We can have a second aperitivo if you want.
And bologna, only the Irish will never get hangover. It says, so yeah, it's not a heavy drinking culture like Ireland or like America as well. Yeah, or even England. People here don't really drink as heavy as English, right?
Here, yes. I have to admit,
Udine or Italy in general?
In Friuli, in some region of Italy. So, for example, in the center and south, they don't get so much drunk, but in the north they do, especially in this region, because we are wine producers. We drink a lot of alcohol, but we drink it very slowly. That's the difference.
So you get drunk over a long period of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get drunk,
yeah,
but then you have less hangover. Also because there are techniques to avoid hangover.
And you're drinking usually an entire bottle of water because they always bring huge
water, and you drink the same thing the entire night. For 5 hours, you drink the same thing, for example. You don't switch between. For example, that's another big. If you know that you're gonna do a long aperitivo usually starts around 7 till 8, like 1 hour, and then you go to dinner. It's like a pre-dinner thing.
So you don't start with Negroni and keep on going?
No, that's only in the fancy cities. No.
And it's very heavy.
Here you have wine for aperitivo, or beer if it's very hot.
Okay.
But if you know that you're going to have a long one, which means till midnight one, which means that you're not going to have dinner, you're going to keep eating little bites and have wine, the entire night. And you're probably going to get drunk, but a good kind of drunk, so that the day after you're not so hangover. In that case, you have to choose very carefully what's your first drink. Because if you start with white, you're going to continue with white the entire night, because otherwise you're going to be hangover the next day. If you start with red, you stick with red. And possibly with the same bottle.
Oh no! It sounds very limiting.
No,
I get it.
If it's a good wine, it has so much variety of flavor inside of it.
The more intoxicated you get, the more those flavors are expressed.
No.
Maybe. I haven't done that type of aperitivo yet, but I'll give it a try at least once.
Hey, I just gave for free some true Friulan wisdom on how to drink.
There you go. So I'm sticking with Campari Spritz the entire night. That's very good. That's awesome to hear, because aperitivo usually in Rome was the spritz, not the wine. The wine is for the meal.
They don't have a wine culture in Rome. They don't drink much alcohol in general. They have spritz because it's been imported from the north, not because it's traditional there.
Which is Milan, at least Campari. Yeah, Campari was developed in Milan.
Yeah. In Veneto, for example. So I would say if you think about Spritz Aperol, you think of Veneto. I wouldn't say, I'm not 100% sure about this though.
So it's Friuli, and then right underneath is Venice.
Friuli, we are more simple. We do just wine and water. Okay,
so let's not answer any questions. This live stream is just amazing, says George. I'm so glad. She's absolutely right. Pro drinker right there, says Jau, who's from Brazil. Don't mix alcohol. April says, my father is always sipping grappa, and he made it in New York. So you don't take grappa as a shot?
No, it could be.
You'll shock the poor nonna at the house.
If you feel particularly aggressive and you really want to get drunk with friends, you can take a shot, but usually you sip the grappa, yes.
So grappa, for anyone who doesn't know, is a digestif. Is there a digestif culture here, like in the south? Okay.
Oh.
Well,
this is something. You should try this one first.
Okay, let's try this out. This is very interesting. This reminds me of my childhood. With a mixture of tuna. Yeah.
Tuna and olives, and green olives. Tramezzino.
Yeah, this is basically what I had as a little kid.
Sandwich. What you will call this sandwich, right?
A sandwich, yeah. Yeah, no sandwich.
It's a bit poor in the filling.
Yeah. It's not the most interesting thing, but it's a nice little snack along with the immense amount of alcohol. Yeah. What kind of tuna? I don't know. That's a good question.
I would say a random one. Unfortunately, we don't really pay attention that much to where the tuna comes from, which is
right.
Wrong.
Right. I mean, you'll find tuna fairly often in many parts of Italy because I've seen it in many menus all around.
We have
but it doesn't seem prominent.
Why? You know why?
Why?
We almost never have fresh tuna, but we have canned tuna. It's I don't know why, it's so weird, I think.
Yeah.
But in every Italian house, almost every Italian house, one of those ingredients that you will always find in the pantry is canned tuna. And that's what this is made of, for example.
So Franca asks, how do they make the polenta here? How did you have as a little kid?
In big copper pots.
Okay.
And it can be yellow and whole,
right?
Or yellow and how do you say when it's not whole? Raffinata. Whatever. Refined. Exactly. Or it can be also white.
And
which is more eaten with fish, the white one.
Oh, fascinating. And let's see. Feel free to ask any questions. Watching you is a pleasure, says Carol. Oh, so glad, Carol. Kay says, slam that like button. Yes, indeed. Slam that heart button on FB. Share this with anyone. Any groups that are relevant. Not the biggest fan of tuna, says Joe. I like fresh tuna. This is more canned tuna, so it's not so much my style. We always had wine with meals, says Sil. Yeah, so here, as Mary Jane mentioned, they have a wine aperitivo, so a pre-wine drinking, a pre-dinner drinking. This live stream is just amazing, says George. Are there any religious superstitions here? Okay, I'll tell you my initial impression. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. This is a very religious city. But I'm not sure about the surrounding region. How is it?
Religious superstitions. I wouldn't say so. I mean, religion and superstition is two different things here.
Right.
There are people who are superstitious, but they are most likely not religious at that point.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so they all mix.
Probably in the southern culture of Italy, they have superstition related to religion, right?
I've heard, yes.
I've heard, but I'm not sure.
And other cultures like Sardinia as well, I heard. You don't get drunk, you get lightheaded in Italy. That's right, and then very chatty for hours.
Yeah. For hours and hours and hours, that's the point.
I think Italians are born to be live streamers. It's that they just haven't found the technology yet. They haven't used it to its fullest extent. And people have a few people have said that we deserve our own show. Let us know what should be our show on the BBC. Let us know. And let's see what else. The tuna is imported. Yes, it is. Any cheese in this region that people eat? Oh,
lots of cheese. It's a very cheese-based kind of cuisine, the Friuli one.
Jason asks if you can go to one place in Udine, where would you go? What's your place of solace in Udine?
What's solace?
Ooh, solace means a place of peace, of serenity, where you feel at your most calm and immersed in utter beauty. Where you feel la dolce vita.
Maybe, that little spot with the water that we were earlier, that's probably my most peaceful spot in Udine.
Yeah, that is a good spot.
Yeah. I would go there sometimes when I was younger and was still studying, and I was studying at the library. We passed in front of it. And that place with the water is very close to the library. So we'd maybe just go there for 15 minutes, take a break, look at the water passing by, have no people around. That's my peaceful spot.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
I hope I didn't spoil it now with this live stream.
No, I don't think so. Maybe if you were in Venice, but here, I don't think people are clamoring to get here yet, at least.
Luckily.
3,000 stars were sent during this broadcast. Thank you so much. All right. We'll stick around for 4 more minutes. Feel free to ask any questions. Any specific desserts? First tell us your childhood dessert and what's a dessert that most people get?
Well, excuse me, but if you ask me dessert, there is one that the entire world knows.
Tiramisu?
Yes.
I knew it.
Did you know that there has been, in the past few years, a battle in Italy
For what?
among 3 places in Italy that were claiming the origins of tiramisu. And in the end, Friuli won.
Ah, Friuli won. Okay.
Friuli is officially now the place where tiramisu was originated. Not many people know this.
That means we have to eat tiramisu at some point. So, who knows how long I'm here? No one knows, but
But if
in the next maybe hour or so, I'll find some tiramisu.
if I had to say my childhood kind of dessert, crostata,
Crostata.
which is a how do I explain it? It's a base of cookie dough kind of thing,
Right.
and filled with jam,
So
homemade.
I love that. Kat asked a very interesting question. Since we're at the end of the aperitivo, we'll ask a question that's maybe slightly travel related, but not fully. What type of men do Italian women like? Do Italian women go for foreign men, from your perspective? This opens a can of worms, but let's be brief.
It's very personal preference.
Yeah, but what's the stereotype? Because the stereotype is usually reverse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Italian men, Swedish women, for example, I would think of. If there is a Swedish woman, every Italian man would be like, "Ooh, Swedish woman." But for women, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've asked this to multiple people. I don't think there is a stereotype here. Not so much. It's not like in America where there's a stereotype with American women with Latin lovers, you know, from Spain, Italy, or parts of like Puerto Rico or Cuba.
We are open to everything.
Yeah. Risque topics is for the Brussels-men. Well, we were at the end of the aperitivo right now. Chat ate the same without you, says Wendy. Yeah, Wendy, thank you so much for tuning in. Tiramisu is too sweet for my liking. Is there a less sweet dessert that you would recommend for Irene coming here?
We have very sweet desserts, I must admit. We're not very big at desserts.
Yeah.
Despite, we do cakes, homemade stuff.
Yeah, this is not Italy overall, I've noticed, is not a cake culture.
America is.
America is, France is,
Yes.
to some extent, and of course England as well, but not so much here.
I wouldn't say we don't have very good desserts.
Pastries is maybe a little bit more, but it's not extensive. You'll have your
but
cornetto.
we have them for breakfast,
Right.
which is also very bad in my opinion. That we have pastries for breakfast, but that's another thing.
What's the pastry here for breakfast in Friuli, outside of the cornetto? Is there a maritoso equivalent to Friuli?
No.
Joe says, great, you threw in Puerto Rico there. Well, that is a stereotype. Yes, there is a stereotype with people liking Puerto Rican, Cuban men in America, but it doesn't really apply to other places. And thank God the Greeks don't have a stereotype. We appreciate beauty regardless of the country. That's great to hear, Father Joseph. That's amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mary Jane, what's the first thing that people should do off the train immediately when coming to Udine?
Call Mary Jane because I will take you around the city.
All right. And where can people find your work?
What is Shame Mary Jane on YouTube. I also have an Instagram account, Facebook account, but you mainly find me on YouTube. I do vlogs, travel vlogs, and yeah, check out my channel if you want.
Check out the travel vlogs. It's amazing. If you're already a fan of Mary Jane's, consider becoming a patron. She has amazing Patreon exclusive content. What a Shame Mary Jane. And thank you everyone so much for tuning in. If you want to see our previous videos, search the Chinese food tour that I appeared on your channel, and then search on my channel Real Italy in New York, and we covered best pizza, Neapolitan style pizza in New York. Everyone keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Buonanotte, amici. And I always do a wave goodbye if you want to join me towards the rainy skies. Ciao, amici.